Hi, Rabbi Richard Kirsch here. I wear different hats. One is from the Kushner Yeshiva High School in Livingston, New Jersey. Another one is from the Lake Hopatcong Jewish Community Center in Hopatcong, New Jersey during the winter time. And the third one is from the Leicester Congregation located in Whippany, New Jersey. This coming Shabbat, we have the unique opportunity to read what's called Shabbat Zachor, the Sabbath of Remembrance. What are we remembering? We are recalling the first act of anti-Semitism in Jewish history, whereby the Amalekites attacked the Jewish people. And I say to myself, wow, how apropos is it that we are reading about anti-Semitism this coming Shabbat, which we read every year before Purim, during a time that we are living in, which is so rampant with anti-Semitism. I remember when I was growing up, when somebody would mention about anti-Semitism, you would think it's happening in Europe, in foreign countries, anywhere but the United States. But now it's even happening in the United States. I'll never forget, around 2 years ago or so, it could be even closer to 3, when there was a cemetery that was desecrated in Philadelphia. A group of students of mine over at Kushner decided to do something, and they wanted to go to Philly with me to help restore the Jewish cemetery that had been desecrated by anti-Semites. In just a week or so from now, many of my students will be going down to Washington, D.C. on the AIPAC Policy Conference to show our support for Israel and to learn more about what's going on in the world, especially on the college campuses with the BDS movement. And so when we read Parshat Zachor, we have to remember 2 things. Number 1, we try to say to God that, God, please help us overcome our enemies, to wipe out their memory, and to strike our enemies down before you, to save us. The enemies of the BDS movement, and of course, the enemies facing Israel today, whether it's Hamas or Hezbollah or Iran. But we also try to say that it's not just God who has to wipe out the memory, but it's also us. We have a role in this as well. You see, not everybody can go out and fight a war and to wipe out our enemies. We can do our very best by leading ethical lives, by showing the world that we are doing our best to always set the bar high. I'll never forget when I brought a group of students to Newark near Penn Station to hand out clothing to the homeless and food to the starving. Many of them came up to us and said, God bless the Jews. or Shalom, or We Love Israel. And I said to the students afterwards, you see, this is what happens when you do good in the world. You give people a great impression on the Jewish people. And we have an expression in our school that when we do good in the world, tikkun olam, we refer to it as a kiddush Kushner, of making a good name for ourselves and for the Jewish people. So when we're about to read the Torah portion taken from Deuteronomy, we have to keep in mind that nowadays our enemies are vicious. And yes, we have to continue to pray, but also we have to do our part. Shabbat Shalom, and a happy Purim to all.